Our auto expert Peter Fink joins us once again. It's nice to have you back.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Especially this month, because I know July and January are your two busiest times.
All the time. You know, heat and cold are no friends of an automobile, you know, so.
And you just hope customers are patient when they come in when their AC is out, because it's so frustrating when that happens.
Without a doubt. Yep. I mean, the customers are hot, the car's hot, and usually there's a little bit of waiting line at all repair facilities, okay? So you got to be a little patient. It takes an extra day, but we'll get to it, okay, and stuff, so.
Well, Peter, once again, we have a ton of questions, and actually this week we have a lot of transmission questions.
Great.
Which you're more than happy to answer. So one of our viewers says, I have a 1990 Chevy conversion van, and last week the transmission would not shift out of second gear. I checked the fluid level. It was full. A friend told me it may be their computer.
Okay, on that one, a 1990 does not use a computer to shift that transmission. If it was a 94 or newer, it would. That is a 700 R4 transmission in that vehicle, and it uses a cable that goes from the carburetor down to the transmission to control the shifts. It probably came out of an adjustment, should be maybe a simple thing, or a possibility of bad governor gear in that transmission. So.
All right, you're making one car owner smile today if it's a simple fix.
That's right.
All right, I have a 1997 GMC C1500 truck. When I pull my camper in hot weather, transmission fluid comes out of the vent hole. What can I do to solve this problem?
Okay, when they come out of the vent, one of two things. Either the transmission's getting too hot and he needs to put an external cooler on it, and especially since he's pulling a camper, he's working it, or the thing is overfilled, okay? So the simple thing is first check, make sure it's not too full, because if it's overfilled, to protect the transmission, it's supposed to throw it out the vent. The other thing, if it's coming out the dipstick, GM has a new style dipstick for it to seal it off that it doesn't, because it is dangerous that the fluid could get on the exhaust manifold and catch the truck on fire. So want to get that new dipstick and make sure it isn't too full.
And about how much would that cost?
A new dipstick's probably only about $15, $20. An external cooler installed, maybe a couple $100, okay?
So nothing too drastic there. 1995 DeVille does not move sometimes when I put it into gear after they start it. Sometimes when they put the car in the drive or reverse, it will not move. A switch locked message appears on the display.
Don't know what the lock switch message is, okay? Of course, Cadillac is fully electronic and stuff like that. That is electronic transmission, but if it don't move forward or backwards, check your fluids, make sure it's full, okay? If it is, there's a good possibility that filter, we have seen them on the early Cadillacs like this 95, filter fall off and then it won't move. So drop the pan, see if the filter's in place, put a new filter on it, fill it back up, and keep your fingers crossed, otherwise it's going to need a box.
All right, a 1993 Ford F350 Crew replaced all the brake parts, pedal still goes down to the floor, and truck will stop. They're stumped.
Okay, I would think we got a hydraulic problem, okay? First try bleeding it, okay? Fill your master cylinder up, pump up the brake pedal, and if the pedal comes up, you got air in the lines. If that isn't the case, possibly the rear brake shoes aren't adjusted up yet, and that's why you got a real low pedal also, okay? So make sure they're adjusted and start bleeding if it pumps up. All
right, let's get it to one more question here. How do you get the key to turn on when the security feature has locked you out of the new key cylinder? They have a Pontiac Grand Am 2002.
You know, them security systems are pretty tricky on these new cars. I'll be honest with you, that's probably my weak spot, and so this person stumped me. I don't have an answer for that one.
It is tough on some of those when you can't get it too. So.
You're probably going to need a scan tool, the GM scan tool to go in there. There's a security setting. They have a chip usually in the key, and a homeowner can't do it, and truthfully, my shops can't do it either. Okay, so that's probably a dealer deal that they need to go to. So.
All right, thanks, Peter, so much, and we have more questions for you next time we have you in.
Great.
All right, thanks.